Yo, what's up? Welcome to Violent Cinema Review. I'm Christian,
And I'm Goblin
and we have a movie called Father's Day.
because this past Sunday it was Father's Day. For all you dads out there who didn't abandon your kids or abuse them or light them on fire or go to the store for cigarettes 15 years ago and never call back, you're still fucking out there, you piece of shit. This is Troma's Father's Day from 2011. Directed by Astron 6, which is a Canadian collective consisting of Matthew Kennedy, Connor Sweeney, Adam Brooks, Stephen Kostansky, and Jeremy Gillespie. This movie is fucking gnarly. It's a throwback to 70s exploitation, over the top violence. It's about a man obsessed with revenge due to his father getting killed by a man who specifically kills fathers. Is there more beneath the surface? Is he just a psycho killer? Is he kind of a special guy on the loose who just grunts and moans and doesn't really say words? Or is it something way more sinister? We'll find out today on this episode. Oh, wait, we already started it. So what'd you think of this movie?
It's very interesting. What was the name of the fucking thing? It was like a
Fuckman, Chris Fuckman, aka the Father's Day Killer.
movie starts out with him ripping apart, which, assuming a father, and then just fucking the head of it, so it's definitely a nice little wholesome film.
And I also forgot to mention, but that the man who's exacting his brutal revenge is also joined by a priest and a 16-year-old gay male prostitute. I don't know if he's actually
Ironically called
16.
Twink.
Ironic, yeah, Twink, and he is one. And I don't know if he's actually 16, but there's a part where like a guy goes to suck his dick and he goes to rob him and fails, and so they beat up the guy. He's like, "You tried to just fuck a 16-year-old, you perv." But he definitely doesn't look 16 or act 16, so I don't know if I should be uncomfortable watching this or not. I mean, I am, but I don't know if it's for the right reason.
Yeah, it definitely pushes the envelope. It's one of those films for sure, but definitely welcome.
So these three guys have to hunt down this serial murderer. And there's also a stripper woman.
Fathers.
Yes, Chris Fuckman, the Father's Day cannibal killer. He has like 6 different names that they name him once. It's like, doesn't matter what they call him. The Father's Day killer, the cannibal cook, the cannibal cock eater. Like,
Yeah, and where it ends up being what he really is way more than just a serial killer.
oh yeah. Like the first like hour and like 20 minutes, maybe, or like hour and 10, 15 minutes is like a straight up just like gory exploitation, revenge, over the top violence and all that. And then like the last 15 minutes just hits this like weird psychedelic fucking otherworldly sort of thing, and Lloyd Kaufman makes an appearance because it is produced by Troma, even though it's not necessarily a Troma film. But yeah, Lloyd makes a special appearance, and
Yeah.
so
And
he's not.
it was made to be a short first, but then they end up making it a full feature. I'm kind of curious of what the short would be like.
How much they would have added and take away if there was, the brother and sister bonding moments that we saw that are kind
Bonding.
of, yeah, well, bonding.
They like
Yeah,
their
they,
ships.
they bound something. And it wasn't a fucking rubber because they need the sea.
Yeah, that was a little. All of a sudden, it's like, is this fucking Star Wars? What the hell?
Right. Yeah, so yeah, there's some shit that happens, and then there's a chainsaw lady, and there's a guy who injects heroin into his cock and then runs an X-Acto blade through it. So, it's family fun all around. It's a good heartwarming story about fathers, the extent that sons should go for their fathers or will go for their fathers, and how to love a little closer, a little deeper, if you
Yeah, and
will.
I
A
feel
little
like
deeper
this is good
and
because
deeper inside and
there's
just
not
deep.
enough movies that kind of go into, the father bond with their son and things. So it is a good kind of play off of that and kind of building. It seems like dads kind of just get pushed off to the side, and then but kind of this is kind of given like the love back to like, hey, protect your dad so he's not fucked to the ass.
That was pretty much like that was the last thing I expected. Oh man, yeah. There's a lot of dad rape. Not like the dad's doing it, but the dad's getting it.
And it's so
So
uncomfortable too. You're just like, damn.
Yeah, because it's like it's really well
Brutal.
shot, even though it does have like that 70s exploitation feeling, it is very well shot. And so like those scenes when they hit, like
Oh, the
it
rape
kind of
scenes and
gets
the dads are
serious.
like, it's almost worse than seeing like a girl rape scene. It's,
The way it's shot was super serious, even though everything around it is very crazy and wild and abstract and over the top. But like when the dads get it, like it turns dark real quick and like very sinister.
and it's something
Like
you don't
more,
normally see.
not that rape isn't sinister inherently, but just like, when you see some movies, some like Sodomaniac that we reviewed, it's over the top, it's kind of goofy, what it is, but this one it's very serious when those scenes do occur.
No, it definitely has a good mix of humor because it's more like those little funny one-liners. Like when he's in the tree and he's like trying to tap the tree for maple, and he's like, "What have I been making my medicine of?"
It's like this isn't a maple tree. What have I been making my whole There's
Just
so
stuff like
many
that.
moments like that are just like throwaway lines or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck? And I actually really like how like it was kind of mentioned. Like the whole maple syrup thing seems kind of like just random. Like he's just a maple syrup guy, and it keeps coming back, and you're like, what the fuck? And then finally it pays off, and I was like, there we go.
But it was
But
just like a big long punchline, and it's
like some of the dialogue, maybe like back to the syrup thing, but when he hands him the bottle, he's like, I don't drink. He's like, it's maple syrup. Oh, I better drink up. I was like, what the fuck? It's just so out there and random. It's just like this, just it's
like
not like
definitely made in
overly
Canada.
funny or even like a joke, but it's just like these off-kilter comments. Where it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it definitely has that like Canadian humor in there. So
Yeah, the dialogue's really good in this. There's some acting that's questionable. There are a couple
yeah,
of scenes where I was like, eh.
but it feels like because of the style of film, it gets a pass. It's almost kind of like it's meant to be a little bad to kind of go into like the style of film of like making fun of older films, like making slight parodies of things, you know. But because it does a really good job of giving it that retro feel.
It does. It does the screen static and tearing and all that. There are some scenes where like there are movies that try to do the grindhouse thing and like they use that filter in literally every single
Yeah,
scene
it's
where it
too
kind of gets
much.
annoying.
Yeah.
This one doesn't. There are quite a few scenes where like they just don't have that filter. It's just all you get the vibe from the color and the detail that's in the scene and not that filter. But when they do use the filter, it's done well. So even though it does have that like 70s exploitation tearing filter, it's not the whole time, so it doesn't get annoying or redundant, or it plays very well, and it's really just during a lot of the action sequences, which I think helps it.
And they've done this in a few films. Like the editor's fantastic. It came out like a few years after, and like pretty much the same group of people. That one's awesome. And like it's kind of the same thing, which is not too overdone, but you can definitely feel that it's a parody of of a style of a genre. So
Yeah, these guys have actually done quite a bit. I haven't seen a lot of them, like, but apparently, like the biggest one would be some of them worked on The Void, and then also Psycho Gorman was one of their movies that really blew up. I haven't seen either one, but this collective has been around for a while and doing lots of short films. They had stuff in VHS. So, like I mentioned before, the special effects of this are really good. There are some moments where a lot of them are practical. I'd say a majority of them, but there are some like CG effects that don't necessarily work too well in my book, but I didn't notice a lot of CG in the beginning of the movie, but then once the CG starts getting used, where like I remember a specific scene. It's when they're chasing down Foxman and he shoots him with the shotgun, and like it's clearly like CG like overlay that they did on the stomach or whatever. And that was the first time I really noticed that CG was being used. But then from that point on, it just becomes nothing but this like amazing green screen and CG. So like it kind of blends well into like this turning point of the movie where the whole ending is fucking bizarre, insane green screen stuff.
yeah, it was hard to take you serious. You talking about green screen as your green screens all fucking happening.
I don't have a green screen. That's the fun of it.
We're professionals. So one thing I definitely really like is the soundtrack. It's one of those like slapstick, kind of like over the top at certain points, but still done well enough with everywhere else where it stands out, where it doesn't seem like the whole thing's like just a laugh track, but like the overemphasizing a slap and things like that. And the lighting is actually fantastic through this whole entire fucking film. That's what makes it stand apart from any other Troma film. Is just the lighting and the camera work is just way better than most any other Troma films.
Literally any trauma film ever. This looks at Lloyd Kaufman. Who the fuck direct your own damn movie? Learn how to direct a damn movie. How about that? No, I'm just kidding. That
Speaking
cut
of Lloyd
that.
Kaufman, it's kind of nice that he gets a cameo.
Yeah, Lloyd Kaufman has a really fun cameo in this. Completely green screened as well, but if you watch it, you'll see why, and it's definitely worth it. He actually plays two roles that are polar opposites of each other, and no spoilers on this.
Yeah, it's funny though. It works. And his reasoning is like, that actually kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good. I enjoyed his little cameo because like sometimes you get a cameo of someone that's like feels pointless or obnoxious or but like it was just right in this one.
It was a very short cameo, but it was good.
Yeah. And so of course Christian's other favorite part is there is a strip club scene and a woman has a chainsaw. How do you feel about chainsaw strippers?
Be honest, that was one of the parts that I skipped when rewatching it. I don't really remember.
All right, so watched all the dad rape scenes, none of the stripper scenes. Learn more about Christian every day.
No, I just happened to be one.
It's like that dad rape was so crazy. What about the strippers? There were strippers?
I mean, I remember him of them being like, "Well, I guess you're gay," and then this one girl slaps him. But
Do you remember when they fucked?
yeah, I remember that the sisters. I mean, the sister, but
The sister.
the brother and
Oh my God, that reminded me though
brother and sister.
when they're at the one stripper's house and the guy comes looking for him after the murder. They like sneak out all dressed in drag, but the dude has the full on beard. He's like, "Ma'am." I died like who are you talking to? They're just some friends, and they like come out all in drag, trying to sneak out, but the main dude still has his beard. And he walks by, he's like, "Oh, sorry, ma'am." Just like sneak on. I was like, "What the fuck?" Oh yeah, there's definitely some great just laugh out loud dumbass moments, but it really helps.
Yeah, keeps
Doesn't
your
hinder it
attention
at all.
throughout because it is kind of long, like the original cut. Speaking of the original cut, like so, the director's cut is like an hour 30, which is like the whole thing, but it got cut down for Australia and UK. Um, Australia had to end up like having like two cuts on it until it got like approved.
Yeah,
But
the uncut got banned, and then they had a cut version that got banned, and then they came back and were like, "All right, 18 plus." And I'm like, "What? What did you have to remove? And does this movie still make sense?
yeah, I
Like,
mean, I
did
can
they
see.
just butcher it?"
Yeah, I mean, I can see some scenes definitely getting taken out that would need it. Like, so I'm like thinking in my head, I was like, oh yeah, I can see that one. That one's probably going to be taken out if they did.
Probably the heroin and exacto nuts.
Yeah, that scene for sure.
That
The
was, or maybe the whole, literally
fucking
ripping
severed
the
head.
dude's dick off with his teeth.
Yeah, it was.
Which kind of threw me back to fucking Marion Dora's Cannibal, where he tries to bite through the dude's dick, and he's like, "I can't do it. It's too chewy." Like this dude just fucking ripping it straight off. I was like, Marion Dora, eat your heart out.
Yeah.
But hell yeah, overall, I give this a 4 out of 5 on Letterbox because that's important to some people.
Litter box.
Litterbox,
Gotta love it.
and also join our Patreon. I keep meaning to say this at the beginning of every episode, and like and subscribe.
Yeah, it helps us out a ton.
I think so. I don't get the statistics Christian does. I'm just kind of showing up
We're
at this
close to
point.
1,000. Help us.
Yes, we need 1,000 subscribers, so then maybe we can get a Bad Dragon sponsorship and I can retire. That's all I need. Just one Bad Dragon commercial and then we're good.
I mean, to be all honest, I don't know if I want to be monetized because I don't want to have to give you censored content.
I won't give you a
Oh,
censored comment. I will show you me using that Bad Dragon once we get the
that's why you
sponsorship.
need to join our Patreon. So if I do become monetized, that's where all the uncensored bullshit will be.
And then we'll just go fucking wild because then we know like whatever we do, it's going to be censored anyways. So fuck it. Goose on Milk 1 through 4 retrospective coming once we get monetized. I
Yeah,
put I put
I'm
Bones'
totally
word
down
on that.
for a Guso milk watch along.
I speak for Bones when I say that he'll absolutely be there and won't complain one bit.
Oh, I'm gonna do like the whole like thing with his eyes and make him
The
watch.
whole Clockwork Orange.
It will
Just
happen.
don't scratch his retina,
Mhm.
like what happened to Malcolm McDowell in that movie,
Oh, is that
which is
what?
different from Roddy McDowell, who did Planet of the Apes. I didn't know that for the longest time. So yeah, thank you again for joining us. Please like and subscribe.
So from Quality Violence Cinema, I'm Christian.
You sure?
This is
And
Goblin.
I'm
Fuck you.
and I'm I'm Goblin. Fuck me yourself, you coward. Haha, look how wacky I am. Ooh, wild card. Oh, crazy shit. Oh, I got my hand tattooed one time on a stream, and I got a blowjob. Check it out on Patreon. You can see me getting a blowjob on the stream. Weird ending, and fade to black. Exit outro music. I don't even know if we have one of those. And then here's the Patreon, here's the fucking shit, and then roll credits, and then it's just end credit scene Marvel style, me fucking finally beating it off and coming on the screen, and then it fades away. End of video. Boom.